Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today I'm going to be working on making a simple yet effective little pot rack or display rack. We've recently made a new backdrop for our 3 minutes at 3s in our live business chats, and so I need a way of hanging some utensils up. So this is what you would call under the shelf type of pot rack, and I'm going to keep the thing pretty simple. So this would fit really well in a modern household. Now, if you're into the selling mode of things like this, you can also sell it for pretty cheap or fairly expensive. It's kind of a cheap pot rack that you can make up real quick. But you can make a good 60 to 70 bucks on a pot rack like this. And mainly, it's more of like a utensil rack. You can hang pots and pans off of it. Again, the ideal here is for it to sit in a modern design. Now, I've already got 2 1/4 inches marked off each end. You can make this as long as you want, so this isn't, all this stuff is relative to your application. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flatten a little foot pad on the near side of the anvil, laying on about a cube of material, and then I'm going to take and bend those legs. So we're going to get to that here, and I really hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so I want to take and put this little thing on the opposite side, or on the same side, if you will, as the punch mark I've previously laid out. Just setting down with some half on, half off blows. Until we get a little foot pad on the end here. And you make this as pretty and as dressed up as you like. The ideal is just to have a foot pad on the end here. There we go. Just like so. We'll make sure we do that to both ends before we do our bending on these. It'll just be easier to hold. So we'll do that on both ends. We'll probably bend this end up first, actually, and then we will go on to this, because that way we can make use of this heat. Now that we got our little foot pad, we're going to set it just past the edge of the anvil, and we're going to bend that away from the shoulder that has been created. And using some back face hammer blows like that, we're going to try to square that up. This is going to be the part, and we may have to go to the vise to square this up a lot nicer here, but this is going to be the part of the foot pad that will receive the screw from the underside of the cabinet. So it's worth taking the time to get this nice and square and cleaned up the best you can. Like so. Like I said, that's going to adhere itself to the underside of the cabinet with a screw. Now we need to actually bend on the little center punch mark, turn this 90 degrees up, and go ahead and bend that down at a 90 degrees. Alright, placing over the far side of the anvil again, looking for my center punch mark to line it up. Now we're going to just bend this down right at a right angle if we can. Try to keep it on that mark the best you can. And do not hit the foot. You've worked hard at getting that foot where you want it to be. So the last thing you want to do is end up welling on it and changing its position. We're just going to get this all squared up. And just like that, you've got a nice clean 90-degree bend where you need it. Now you can see how that'll sit under the cabinet. We're just gonna go ahead and repeat that for the other side. Okay everyone, now that you get this done, once you get this rack done this end, yes, I just burnt myself there. Flesh is greasy when hot. So, but anyways, I forgot I was leaving that cool. See, even professionals make mistakes. So, once you get your other end bent, now it's time to take and make up a couple little hooks to put on here. Now, since this is a plain, fairly modern design, we're not going for a lot of scrolls, twists, or any decoration like that. I'm just leaving the S-hooks themselves very plain. Now, if you're going to do a lot of kitchen type stuff, you may think about doing this in stainless as an added touch, an added benefit for people, and then polishing these up very nicely. It's a good way of making a nice modern look. If you want to keep the blacksmith look, I would still go with something, go with a mild steel bar, and it'll work out great. So I've got a little rod heated up here. And if you've ever seen anybody make an S-hook before, you go over the horn. I would say leave about 3/4 of an inch of a flat on the end, and then curl that down into a hook-like shape. Now this is going to now you can make this look just about any way that you want. It's really up to you. I'm just making them all look the same. That is the key. The easiest way to do this is with a jig. So now that we've got that done, I'm going to put our hardy tool in the anvil, and I'm going to lay off from this hook in approximately about 2 inches or 50 mil. We're going to lay about that much off, and then go ahead and hammer that right on around, and that'll give us enough material for our other end. Now for the final little fiddly bit. We're going to bend that little hook the opposite way. I'm going to try to advance this, keep it fairly small. Just try to bend this right on around. So we want to keep that fairly small. Trying to keep pace with the other hooks. And compress that right on around. Now what you're going to notice is you're going to say, okay, well that gap is too small, Roy. And you're absolutely right. We need this to be able to be threaded on here. So the way we're going to fix that is we're going to put ourselves the same size bar as a mandrel. We're going to tilt it up, and we're going to tap down on the S-hook like that. And what that'll do is that'll size our opening for us to where it'll be just perfect. That is a nice little hack, a nice little trick for sizing those openings perfectly. And I really hope that'll help you out. So there you have it. So now you have that. The last thing but not least to do is to thread it on to the bar itself. So you just hook it like that, and voila. Now we've got 3 exactly alike. I'll go ahead and get this finished up, and then we'll go get it mounted. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We got this whole bit in here. There's the ladle set hanging up on our new set. Super excited about this. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video of this little bracket. Like I said before, I believe earlier on in the video, you can expect around maybe 50 to 75 bucks out of a little under the cabinet shelf rack like this. A couple things to point out. I did make a mistake up here. Of making this bracket too long for these to be able to hang properly. So you can see how close they are to the shelf there. So I did end up having to invert that a little bit, lay that bracket itself down horizontally, but it still came out looking good. Well, that'll be it for this video. I really hope you all enjoyed watching. If you did, remember to leave a like and a comment of what you thought. And like always, God bless you, and we will catch you on the next one.